This is what Guru will do. Is it required from us? It's okay. Leave it. People, బయట నుంచి జాయిన్ అవుతాను. అదర్వైజ్ నేను చేసేవాడిని.
You want I can keep it on the top.
Where are they from?
Want I can keep it on the top.
They are from Chicago. They are from Chicago. మిగతా వాళ్ళు కూడా జాయిన్. సో అందరి విషయం చేసింది. నేను అడిగాను. No, no, no. You need to see the clipping before you listen. I'm not giving online class, by the way. Everybody have prepared for that. Right. I think let's keep it like a Q&A kind of thing instead of me speaking a topic. You ask something, suddenly you are there. You ask something, you are burning questions in Bhakti, then
Sure.
we can discuss. It's like a conversation more than a class.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
We'll start. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Kids are more than adults here.
It's our adults now.
Not yet. 7th, 8th, 9th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is in 7th.
I think I use this. Biggest shut my throat. Yes, that's good. Yeah, special. Cannot be sitting with them.
Sit with mother.
Huh?
Want to sit with mother.
Oh, really?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, how can I serve you? You have anything to ask? This is a conversation, not a class.
Yeah, probably. I can ask, please, and then probably everyone can discuss. So, Prabhuji, in Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, passing away of Bhishma, there is one shlok where Bhishma Dev is saying to Yudhishthira Maharaj that Vipra Dharma Achutashaya. Right, Prabhuji? So, basically, if we need to know that what we are doing is right, we need to have this three things basically, like getting the guidance of a Vaishnava, and then taking exclusive shelter of the Lord, and also following the religious things. But what I wanted to know is that we don't have an option to execute and Vaishnava, and we don't, because at least I can talk about myself that I'm not able to understand everything so in depth, right? So how can I ensure whenever I'm taking a decision that it is accordance to the will of the Lord, right? Because sometimes I may think it is Atyahara, sometimes I may think no, like Arjuna was also doing so much to fight, right? So it's very difficult sometimes to really understand, even though our intention is to serve the Lord, but the activities, right? Like how I can know that this activity, what I'm doing, is actually in the alignment of the will of the Lord.
Very profound question. The shloka, everybody could hear the question by Prabhu?
Yes. If you can repeat.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. The shloka that Prabhu quoted from the first canto of Bhagavatam, 9th chapter, was Aho kashtam aho nyayam yadyuyam dharma nandana Jeevitam narhata klishtam vipra dharmachyutashrayah. Vipra means Brahmanas. In our case, they are Vaishnavas. Dharma means righteousness. But in our case, it is bhakti. The process of bhakti is our dharma. Achyuta means Krishna himself. Ashraya means taking shelter. So we need to take shelter of three things. Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta. We need to take shelter of three things. What are they? Bhakti, Bhakta, and Bhagavan. To keep it simple, Bhakti, the process of Bhakti. Second, Bhaktas, the devotees. Third, Bhagavan. They're trying to write. So take shelter of three things always. Bhakti, Bhakta, and Bhagavan. Clear? Just for your convenience, we made it three B's, 3BB. Bhakti, Bhakta, and Bhagavan. Devotees in the process of devotional service, and the Lord Himself. Now, Prabhu's question is, we may not always have access to bhaktas, devotees, isn't it? We may not have the personal guidance and personal presence of devotees always around us. How do I ensure that my decisions are correct? How can I be confident that what I am trying to do is accurate? Am I doing atyahar in trying to either earn money or build a house or acquire something or gain some position or power? So many things we need to do as a part of our self-preservation in this world. So how much is too much? That's his question. Is that the question?
Yes.
Did I get your question?
Yes, please.
I'm giving a purport to his question. But I'm giving the answer. So the answer is honest introspection will definitely help. Even if we don't have access to a devotee who can guide us, who can give us a perspective, we have access to our intelligence, which is sharpened by studying Shastras, which has become refined by performing sadhana and chanting the holy names of the Lord. With that sharpened intelligence, with that refined wisdom that we have acquired by study of Shastra and doing sadhana, we can definitely be sure that our decisions are right. Let me give an example. Yesterday we were discussing about Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva wrote so many scriptures, Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, so many things he wrote. But he was feeling very dissatisfied. What did I do? Is it right or wrong? So he was contemplating. Then he came to a conclusion that because I have overemphasized the four Purusharthas and because I have not sufficiently emphasized on the process of Bhakti Yoga, I am feeling dissatisfied. That honest introspection helped Vyasadeva to figure out where he went wrong. Then Narada Muni came and confirmed it. Yes, yes, what you thought is correct. Your honest introspection revealed to you where you went wrong. That's correct. Contemplation. You want another example? Go to the 9th canto of Bhagavatam. Saubhari Muni. He saw two fishes inside the water, enjoying, and he developed a desire to marry. Although he was a sage who was doing some meditation alone inside the waters in Yamuna River, he developed a desire to get married. He came out and he approached Mandhata, the king Mandhata, and said, "I want to marry your daughter." And Mandhata felt, hey, he seems to be very old, says. Just imagine, he just came out of water after maybe several decades or centuries, probably. So many years. And he has matted locks of hair, and the skin is completely withered. He didn't look like a marriageable young man at all. He looks like an old, says, emasculated, says nobody would be willing to marry such a person. So Mandhata felt that if I say no to him, he may curse me. If I say yes to him, my daughters may become angry. He gave a clever answer. My dear Saubhari, yes, I have no problem in giving my daughter to you in marriage, but I have decided to get my daughters married only to that man whom they like. So our messenger is there, our servant soldier is there. He will take you to the palace of our princesses. So if they like you, you can get married. Let me try. So on the way, Saubharimuni transformed himself into a very handsome young man. Then all the 50 daughters of King Mandhata, they started fighting with each other. I will marry him, I will marry him, I will marry him. He ended up marrying all 50 of them. So why did I mention this story? The point is not to go into the details of the story. After marrying these 50 princesses, through each princess, Saubhari Muni got 100 sons. He was one. Then he became 51. Then he became 5051. His family became so big. Then he started contemplating. Is it too much? I was alone doing some tapasya. Suddenly, I became the husband of 50 queens or 50 wives. And now my family became 5,000 kids. I think I went way beyond the necessity. Let me just give it up. So he contemplated, he honestly introspected, and finally he took shelter of Krishna, and all his 50 wives also took shelter of Krishna. Together, all of them went back to Godhead. Right. So when you don't have access to devotees, then your honest introspection, not a biased introspection. Sometimes we introspect also. Sometimes we think, we analyze our own situation in a very biased manner. Oh, I never did a mistake. So your whole thought process aligns with that primary thought that you are not wrong. You have not done a mistake. So that kind of thought process will restrict our growth. Keep all your biases and prejudices and self-pity, self-compassion, self-infatuation, self-obsession, self-centric thought process aside. Just as a third person, analyze. If somebody does the same thing that we have done, how would we analyze? Sometimes we are strict with others and lenient with ourselves. So if someone else is in your position and if he comes to you for an advice, how do you respond? Or what kind of advice will you give? So accordingly, just analyze your situation like a third party in an unbiased manner, and then you will figure out, oh, this is good and this is bad. This is right, this is wrong. This is required and this is too much. Here I'm underperforming. Here I'm overperforming. So you just will be able to figure it out. Maybe take a pen and paper. Jot down your thoughts. Use your right brain and then jot down the thoughts. Then use your left brain and jot down your thoughts. You understand what it is? You put down all your emotions, means right brain thoughts. and then you put on your logic, logically evaluate the emotions. That is left brain thinking. So logical analysis you do, emotional analysis also you do, and you try to somehow reconcile both and figure out what went wrong and what went right. Having said that, yes, honest introspection will reveal our own intelligence. When it is used in an unbiased way, it will reveal what went wrong. However, we need not stop there. If you don't have access to a devotee, wait till you get access. Okay, today he's busy, tomorrow he's busy, next 1 week he's busy. Or if he is busy always, whole year, there are other Vaishnavas. The world is filled with so many Vaishnavas. So if you can't find a Vaishnava uh, who is sitting next door, find somebody who is like 3 lanes away. If you can't find some devotee who can hear you and give you some kind of perspective of the situation in your locality, then find somebody in a different locality. If not in your country, find somebody in a different country. There are Vaishnavas everywhere. You can always access devotees. Where there is a will, Krishna shows the way. Where there is a will, there is a way is one point. Where there is a will, there is Krishna shows the way. If we genuinely want to understand what is best suited for my bhakti, then Krishna will give us an opportunity to bring us in contact with another Vaishnava who can help us figure it out. But if we think that I don't need anyone, I can do things on my own, then we'll be limited to our intelligence. Yes, our own introspection has its own role to play. But we need not be limited by our own intelligence or experience or introspection. You can always go one step ahead and then take a perspective from 2 other devotees, 5 other devotees, and then have a more comprehensive analysis of the situation at hand and take a more mature decision. It is possible. So it can be delayed sometimes, but it is always possible. But only thing is, we should be able to resonate with somebody in life. If we have no Vaishnava whom we can trust, then we need to pray, Krishna, I am unable to express or reveal my heart with these devotees whom I have access to. They are good, but somehow there may not be a compatibility. I often give this example. Milk is good, lemon is also good, but combination is worst.
TCT.
Hmm?
TCT.
What is that?
You mentioned to see, tolerate, and then communicate and terminate.
No, escalate. Tolerate, communicate, then escalate. Then also it doesn't work, then terminate. Termination should be
Last.
last. So final. So if your tolerance, but that's in a different context. Not this. This is different. That is when somebody is troubling you. I said that. When somebody is troubling you, if it is a small inconvenience, tolerate it. But if they're crossing certain limits, go and communicate. Then also they don't stop, then escalate the matter to some senior who can come and make some difference. Then also it doesn't work, then terminate. That's the final. Fifth is relocate. Tolerate, communicate, escalate, terminate, relocate.
So terminate in what sense?
Terminate means keep some safe distance. Don't have a very close working relation. Keep some respectful distance. Respect them, don't hate. Whichever option you choose in this 5, don't hate.
Vaishnava.
Yeah. Don't hold any bitter feelings or negativity towards those Vaishnavas. But knowing that the compatibility factor is less, you can maintain a respectful distance. That's the only scope of termination.
So, how would you actually, one, yes, as you rightly said, actually, probably like in your field perspective, and then we need to validate it with Vaishnava. But Prabhuji, like one thing is we have one goal, and then to execute that goal, we have like some goals, right? Like to execute one decision, we have
Everybody is able to hear, Prabhu.
not.
Still hard.
It's still hard.
You
Okay.
need to be little louder,
Sure.
or you need to use this
No, no,
mic.
that's okay. So Prabhuji, what I was saying is, so like an example is if we have to solve one problem, we introspect and then we reached out to Vaishnava, get the guidance, and we know that this is what I have to do. Now, and I have to do, there are a number of steps that need to be executed to do that, and each step can be its own goal and decision, right? Now, when you have to execute those decisions and those goals, right? At that time, we cannot again go to the Vaishnava. Like, if we have access like that, I'm so happy. But unfortunately, we don't have like, every movement and for every small decisions, we cannot get that validation, right? So how we can ensure, yeah, our goal is what the instruction we have received from our gurus or from the Vaishnavas. But then to execute that instruction, there are multiple other steps and decisions which needs to be made. Now, when I make those decisions, right, I can try to the best of my ability what I have heard, what I have read, whatever but then at the end, I'm not satisfied. I think I may be missing something. Maybe this is not according to the will of. Like that small steps which I take, I feel like this may not be exactly according to the will of the Lord, and that's why sometimes.
As far as the broader instruction is concerned, it's easy. Because
Yeah.
but as far as details are concerned, yeah, you may have some dilemma. Should I go in this direction or that direction? Should I take this step now or this step now? So
Yeah.
you may be.
Yep, like I heard that Arjun asked, like Krishna asked Arjun to fight, but I think he didn't say Arjuna how to fight. And Arjun was so skillful, like he knows how to fight. But in my case, I even don't know anything. So I'm skillless basically. So I know the instruction, this is what I have to execute, but because I don't have the skill to execute that.
I got it. No, don't be so overwhelmed with your inability to take the right decision while executing a service. Please keep trust on Krishna. Dadami buddhiyogam tam yenamam upayantat. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed Srila Prabhupada. Preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking crowd in English language. That's all. Prabhupada figured it out. He tried so many things. For 40 years he tried. There were so many setbacks, so many failures. Oh, this didn't work, this didn't work. He tried magazines. He tried to personally write them, proofread them, typesetting, printing, distribution, everything he only did. Somebody said, why are you spending so much time on these magazines or papers, newspapers? Write books. Oh, Prabhupada took it seriously. Paramatma is speaking to him, speaking through him. Right? So when there is sincerity in heart, although there are some setbacks, ultimately we'll be able to figure out what is the best way to serve Krishna. Although Prabhupada experienced 40 years of setbacks, in the last 1 decade, 4 decades of failures, but 1 decade of super success. But during these 10 years or during these 40 years, Prabhupada's consciousness is same. I want to serve my spiritual master. Right? Some attempts may apparently be a failure. Some attempts are successful, but there is no failure on them. Even if they are apparently failures, but as long as the heart is committed to serve the instructions of the spiritual master or Krishna, as long as the intention is maintained, as long as the motive is maintained, there is no failure. There is no failure. Even though there is external failure, the real failure is losing the inspiration, losing the motivation to serve. That's the ultimate failure. But while serving, you may fail in some endeavor. That's not failure. To lose the eagerness to serve, to lose the motivation or inspiration to serve, that is the bigger failure. Prabhupada never lost that inspiration or eagerness to serve the instructions of spiritual master. Although 40 years he was apparently not successful, but he was successful. The success is in maintaining consistency in his motive, in his inspiration. We are tested 2 times in life. One, when we become successful. Second, when we fail. In failures, we are tested for consistency. In success, we are tested for humility. You understood, children? In failures, we are tested for our consistency. And in success, we are tested for our humility. Who will explain this? Manyata? She's very good at explaining things. Explain. In failures, we are tested for our consistency. What did you understand by this?
Like when we fail, it helps us like understand how to like keep like going and keeping like the motivation to like keep going instead of like just giving up.
Correct. Then in success, we are tested for our humility. What did you understand? Yes, you want to say, Aishita?
We shouldn't think that we're better than anyone else and gain pride. We should just be nice.
Hmm?
We should like not feel pride if we're successful.
Good, they're understanding very well. When we are successful, we may become very proud or arrogant. But success is a test for our humility. Despite being so successful, your humble mode, that's a test there in success. But in failure, as she said, in failure, sometimes we become very demotivated, discouraged, depressed, dysfunctional. But that's where our consistency is tested. Consistency means you keep on going, attempting. Although there's some failure, it's okay. Don't feel discouraged. Move on, move ahead. That is called consistency. Don't get overwhelmed by failure. Consistently try, make an attempt. So basically keep the intentions pure. Although if you find that the strategy failed, this kind of move failed, no problem. Try another way.
So, one follow-up question. This will be the last follow-up
Last.
for this question. Is when I'm engaged in the service that is not directly related to like serving the Lord, like we have, at that time, how can I ensure that my focus or my mood remains in the mood of serving the instructions of my spiritual master and not get carried away with something else, because I'm not directly engaged in the service of the Lord. All the activities which are involved in serving the Lord. Like example, in my office, right? And the other things which I do. So how can I ensure that my mood is still constantly, in the service of the Lord and don't get distracted?
Yes. How to ensure? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayyarpita manobuddhir mame vaishyasi asamshaya. Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, you are saying that my office work may not be a direct Krishna conscious activity, or it's not a part of the 9 limbs of bhakti or 64 limbs of bhakti, which is correct. But see Arjuna's case, he's fighting, he was being violent, he's throwing arrows at his own relatives, he's killing people left, right, center. At least in office, you can be Krishna conscious. What is the possibility of being Krishna conscious on a battlefield while killing people? So much passion, whole day. But Krishna said, Maam anusmara yudhyacha. Perform your yudha, but remember me. So when the intention is ultimately to please Krishna, although the activity may not seem very devotional, because the intention is to please Krishna, that becomes a devotional activity. For Arjuna, fighting and killing people on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is bhakti. And for you, working in the office, learning different AI technologies and earning money is your Krishna consciousness. Because you're doing it for Krishna. You're doing it for Aishita. That is Vaishnava Seva. Because she's a Vaishnavi. You are trying to serve her in some way. That becomes Vaishnava Seva. So the intention matters. What is my purpose of working and earning money? The purpose is just to become a wealthy man, richest man, or purpose is to serve Krishna and his devotees. Plus, maintaining the body is also important for practicing bhakti. If self-preservation is not prioritized, if we don't maintain our body nicely, how will we serve Krishna? Body has to be healthy. To maintain the body, you need some money, you need some food, you need a home, you need some shelter, you need to have some facilities. That whatever you do as a part of your self-preservation doesn't put you out of the realm of self-realization. There are two purposes of life: self-preservation and self-realization. Self-preservation means whatever you do to maintain yourself, maintain your body, bodily maintenance. It could be working for a job or eating or sleeping. Sleeping, for example. Where is Krishna consciousness there? Where? Sleeping. Ignorance, deep ignorance, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. But that is required so that we can remain fresh in next day's japa. If you don't sleep, one day you can manage. 2 days you don't sleep. Oh, God, your head starts aching. You can't focus on japa. 3 days you don't sleep. I have been experiencing all that. Jet lag. Jet lag. Whole day you don't sleep. Whole night you can't sleep. You have sleepy days, but you have to be active and give classes. You have sleepless nights. You don't know what to do. So, bodily maintenance is important. Take care of health, medicine. Some kind of financial emergencies come. We need to have some surplus funds. So, all these are ultimately required to facilitate our absorption in Krishna. We need to have some material, quote unquote, comfort or convenience also to be able to engage our senses in Krishna's service. Therefore, whatever you're doing for your self-preservation doesn't put you out of self-realization. I'm not saying this. Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, Anya Abhilashita Sunyam, not Anya Abhilasha Sunyam. Means you need to work for your self-preservation, eating food, sleeping, earning money. These are basic things that we need to do. How much is too much, you need to decide. How much is too much may be different in different people's cases, but you can figure it out, what suits you the best. But nothing wrong in spending sufficient amount of time. Although it doesn't look like a Krishna conscious activity, it supports your Krishna consciousness. Thus, it's required. But if you are feeling that you are doing too much, you can always minimize, no problem. You can slow down, no problem. Okay, any other questions, comments?
Speaking about when we cannot place trust in Krishna, but some comment came in a decision and a little bit stop there. My question is, like we learned that we should have very good relationships with the Vaishnavas. And we want to please our Guru by maintaining very good relationships with the Vaishnavas. And sometimes we might experience that we want to extend ourselves, but some Vaishnavas are probably close in, accepting that relationship or, not proactively, but even to respond to us many times they may not be, or maybe they could be busy or something, that's not a priority or many things. But if it happens time and again, then how should we still maintain the respect, still be able to pleasing to our Guru that from our side we are trying to maintain the relationship and not feel hurt as well? The same way.
Yes, it's not possible to have very deep, loving, close bonding with every devotee around us. Oh, these are there. I see them together often when I come here or online also. Right? So they have shared some relation, some bonding, some friendship with each other. This may not be the case with everybody. That's okay. You try to approach a Vaishnava, but the devotee is not very reciprocal. For some reason, they couldn't resonate with you. No problem. You maintain your respect, you maintain your Vaishnava culture, try to connect with them according to the best of your understanding. And if there is no reciprocation, just leave it. And you can try to become close with other Vaishnavas. There will be somebody with whom we can resonate. We can have close relationships with few devotees only, but we cannot have close bonding with everybody in the world. I keep meeting so many devotees around. But with some people, I can just resonate better. I can just sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then discuss with them. With some people, just 2 3 minutes of interaction, it's done. That's okay. You don't hate anyone, you respect everybody, but you can feel that closeness only with some people. That's all right. Absolutely no problem.
Gratitude, also we sometimes feel that, okay, some point in time, they have done something which has benefited us, but it's been a long time, but still, I mean, we maintain that feeling of gratitude and we want to. So, as you said, you can be after some time, but sometimes only there is a force from inside that, oh, no, we need to be grateful and we need to
Maintain that gratitude. You should maintain that feeling of gratitude till our last breath, or maybe beyond also, if it is possible. Gratitude should not be given up. But practically, if it is not possible to interact with them very often, then accept the situation. They may be busy, or you may be busy. Just because there is gratitude, you can't just always speak for 1 hour with them. Right? You may not be able to get there time. They are so busy. Disciples are grateful to spiritual master. How many disciples are fortunate enough to get the personal time of the spiritual master? Sometimes some disciples may, the spiritual master may have thousands of disciples, and they may be traveling. Sometimes some disciple may not even get an opportunity to speak even for 5 minutes with the Guru, even once in few years. The gratitude remains intact, worship remains intact. The association with the spiritual master through Vani will continue on. Vapu is always limited. Not only with spiritual master, with other Vaishnavas also, Vapu association or direct physical face-to-face contact is always limited. But at heart, the feeling of gratitude and love and affection should be unlimited. We need to maintain that love and affection for them. But you can remember them, you can remember their good example, you can take inspiration, you can be grateful. Whenever there's a possibility, you can always go and express that gratitude in the form of some physical service, but it's not always possible. Because the physical expression always has limit, restriction. Somebody may have appreciation for your cooking so much, but their ability to eat is very less. You can cook 10 items, but in a meal, how much they can eat? They have limited capacity. Similarly, you may have unlimited gratitude or love or affection for some devotee, but their time is limited. They only have 2 hands, they only have 24 hours. So your ability to express, maybe you're able to take out some time and resources for expression also, but they don't have the ability to reciprocate or accept it. But they accept the feeling. Only Krishna can fully reciprocate with everybody. Even if you offer not 10 items, 1000 items also, Krishna can eat and he can even say anymore. His ability to reciprocate with you could sometimes be more than your ability to serve. It's always like that in the case of normal people. But in case of very exalted devotees like Brajavasis, Krishna says, my ability to reciprocate is very less compared to the amount of love you have for me. Naparayeham niravadya samvija. So sometimes there's a mismatch, there's imbalance. You love somebody so much, but their ability to reciprocate with love is limited. And similarly, they may want to approach you, but your ability to reciprocate with them is also limited sometimes. So many people SMS, they send messages. Yesterday I was getting some at least 15-20 messages or more than that, Guru Purnima, thanking me. You are our teacher, this and that. And I try to reply as much as possible, but it's not that there was some delay in replying. Still has a message to respond. It's always subjective limitation, but acknowledge the feeling. You may have the time to write, 10-line message, but you may just write a 1-line reply also, or you may write 10-page reply also. It all depends on your bandwidth, but you need to acknowledge the emotion, definitely.
In one sense also, like, and have a feeling that, oh, they're doing it.
They're indifferent, they're insensitive, they are not worthy of my love.
Philosophy, so we don't, I mean, impersonalism is something like we get suddenly sensitive about this.
And we should not be so impersonal, definitely. But when others' activities seem little impersonal, then you should not hold any grades. Understand the practicality of the situation. Of course, some people are not genuinely interested at all. They're in their own world. And some are introverts. Some are not very expressive. Let's not have undue expectations from others. Ashahi paramam dukkham nairashyam paramam sukham. Bhagavatam says it, I'm not saying. Don't have undue and unreasonable expectation from others. Because I wrote a 10-line message, they should write a 20-line message. Then only I say that they love me. Possible. They may love you, they may acknowledge, but they don't have the bandwidth. That's okay. Anything else? Is Shamita anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandasana. Prabhu, I wanted to ask something regarding the previous question that Prabhu had asked regarding making sure all our activities are perfect. And then your answer to that was, if we constantly chant the holy name of Lord, our activities will be perfect. But when we look at Bhagavatam 4.1, there's a chapter called Dhruva Maharaj fighting with the Yakshas. So in that chapter, Prabhu, one of the brothers of Dhruva Maharaj was killed by Yakshas, and then in revenge to that, he almost destroyed Yaksha's whole race. So I wanted to ask, so like even in pure devotees like Dhruva Maharaj, there's a little like sometimes we see there are some activities that are done which are out of Krishna consciousness. So like my question is, so is it ever possible to be perfect even while engaging in Krishna conscious, like fully in Krishna conscious?
Only Krishna is completely perfect. Everyone else has some flaws or the other. And of course, pure devotees are also perfect in their love for Krishna. But as far as their decision making is concerned, sometimes there could be some mistakes also. Dhruva is such an exalted devotee who got the darshan of the Lord at the age of 5. He's very accomplished. But still, there was an emotional outburst in Dhruva's life. He became overly emotional when his brother died and he was about to annihilate all the yakshas for one yaksha's mistake. Then the sages came there and they pacified him. And now, sorry, before that sages came, but later Swayambhu Manu came. Swayambhu Manu came and said, hey, for one yaksha's mistake, you're killing all the yakshas. It's not appropriate. Please give up this atirosha. That shows we need to depend on devotees. Our introspection has its role to play, as we discussed elaborately, because that's the context that you have given. But as I said, where there is a will, Krishna shows the way. So we should try to take inputs from other devotees. But we cannot expect spoon feeding also. We need to be individually thoughtful also, in line with the teachings of the devotees, in line with the teachings of the Shastra, in line with the teachings of Krishna, right? But at the same time, whenever there's an opportunity, please try to consult devotees. Even Dhruva needed guidance of devotees. Even Vyasdeva needed guidance of Narada Muni. although he is an accomplished author and an incarnation of the Lord. Indra did so many mistakes, and Brahma or somebody has to come and correct. Hanumanji, at one point, he was very disappointed. He was even contemplating on committing suicide. You know that? When Hanumanji saw Mandodari in Sundarakanda, Hanumanji was searching for Sita Devi. He was searching throughout the palace of Lanka, Ravana's palace. He did not find anyone. But finally, he found one dignified lady, Mandodari, lying there and thought that she is Sita. Then he started jumping up and down and started kissing his tail. Then he thought, oh, how can Sita Devi sleep peacefully in the absence of Ram? How can she sleep on a wonderful couch? How can she decorate herself lavishly like this? Na Ramena Viyukta sa Swapnamarhati Bhamini, na Bhoktum, na Pyalankartum, na Panamupasevitum. In the absence of Lord Ramachandra, Sita Devi wouldn't decorate herself. Na Bhoktum, she wouldn't eat. Na Pyalankartum, she wouldn't decorate herself. Na Panamupasevitum, she will not even drink water in separation from Ram. And here is this lady, although looking very dignified, she's just lying like a queen. She is not Sita. Then where is Sita? Did she die? When Ravana is just bringing her across this Lanka ocean, did Sita fall into the ocean? Or did Ravana eat her for his breakfast? So like that, Hanuman went into so many thoughts that if I communicate this message of Sita's death to Ram, Ram will die. Lakshman will die, Bharat will die, Shatrugna will die, all the Kishkindavasis will die, all the Ayodhyavasis will die. Better I die then. He was thinking like that. He went into very dark contemplation. Hanumanji. But later he tried to compose himself. He did not have anyone. He has to consult his own Paramatma, and then he somehow managed to compose himself and then continue. Okay, I have searched only Ravana's palace, which is very long, but there are other places in Ravana's kingdom. Let me go out. Then finally he found Sita Devi in Ashoka Vatika. Right? So sometimes there are moments where we may become overly emotional, we may give up hope, we may become overly angry, but other devotees will come and help us. But even if nobody is around us, we need to activate our intelligence to control the mind. Mind is an emotional faculty. Intelligence is the rational faculty. Mind can only have thoughts, feelings, desires, and emotions. But whether the feelings and thoughts are positive or negative, good or bad, right or wrong, mind cannot figure out. Intelligence has to figure out. So activate your intelligence. Intelligence does the analysis, whether this thought is good or bad, whether this emotion is positive or negative, whether this feeling is useless or useful. All that the mind will figure out. Intelligence will figure out. So Hanumanji used his own intelligence to control his mind's emotions. Sometimes we have to be like that. In a situation where we don't have access to Vaishnavas, we need to depend on our Paramatma, depend on our Shastric intelligence to control our emotions. But when there is a possibility to consult a Vaishnava, immediately do it. Immediately go and consult a Vaishnava. Even if the Vaishnava is on the other side of the globe, I need some time from you. Just call. I have this. I keep doing that. I have friends in our ashram. I have seniors in our ashram. I go and consult them. In this situation, what is the best way to do? Sometimes I don't have access to them. I will send a mail or send a message. I may even consult someone who is on the other side of the globe also. So when we have the willingness to take the perspectives of another mature Vaishnava who is our well-wisher, then that connection will be established. And nowadays with this Wi-Fi and Zoom calls and YouTube lives, the technology is so advanced. Accessing another Vaishnava seems very simple and easy. Vaishnavas are not so inaccessible now. In the olden days, accessibility is less. Hanuman did not go to Lanka with a smartphone, with international calling, with Wi-Fi always on. Went to Lanka. What's the password? Wi-Fi password here.
Ram, live update. I couldn't find Sita anywhere. Throughout Ravana's palace, I didn't find Sita, and he did not click photos. And sending Lord Ramchandra. Is he Sita? Is she Sita? Ram is not just checking the WhatsApp and oh, she's not Sita. She's not Sita. I'm not confirming this. If he had that opportunity, he would have done it. Ram just described how Sita looks like, and Hanuman had to depend on the description and then find that woman. And those descriptions, and he says Sita has lotus-like eyes. There will be so many women who have lotus-like eyes. Whether it's lotus or not, but he's a brahmachari. He has to figure it out. So with very minimal inputs, he's searching everywhere. He has to depend on his Paramatma only. There is a possibility of consultation. Okay, take a screenshot. Prabhu, is this correct? Sometimes, like when you're reading some books, sloka is there and directly translation is there. There is no word-to-word meaning. I mean, I can correlate as much as I can with my understanding of Sanskrit and Telugu, but some words are tough. What I do is I just click that photo and send it to some devotee who knows Sanskrit well and says, Prabhu, this word, what does it mean? I'm unable to connect the translation with the shloka. Can you please explain? He will explain. Send a voice note. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam. I have sent that shloka that day. And this is the answer, this is the meaning. You just give a 4 or 5 minute voice note. So we have access to Vaishnavas so much, Prabhu, now. Yes. With this Kali Yuga advancement, our access to devotees and devotee association, their knowledge, their wisdom is so much. Problem is we are so preoccupied with our own thoughts and activities that we don't even access Vaishnavas. We don't take benefit of the association of Vaishnavas. That's our problem. Devotees are ready to help us. If they're not ready, fine, there are other devotees who can help us. If some Vaishnava is busy, another Vaishnava is there. But if we suspect them, उसको बताएगा तो और 10 लोगों को बताएगा वो उसको नहीं बोलूंगा मैं. First we should gain the trust. We cannot reveal our hearts to anybody and everybody, but we should have at least some people. Somewhere we have to invest some faith. There may be some trail and error also. Okay, Hare Krishna. 8:30 exactly. We'll stop. Any questions from the younger generation here? Radhika, Shamita, Aishita, Manyata, ta. Chicago kids are, their names are concluded with ta. Yes, any questions? Comments? Okay, adults. Yes, last question.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a personal question. I've been reading Bhagavatam for some time now. So when I was progressing, I started with underlining and then maybe some note or then I was like trying to learn how to I want to stay with the messages. So I was wanting to ask you how can I want to stay more with the messages. How can I improve in my note taking?
Stay with the messages means?
Like when I started reading, so underlining helped me.
Okay.
And then after that, maybe little summary helped me, something like that. So I kind of feel like I'm going somewhere, I don't know where I'm going. So I just want to ask you the ways to improve my note taking.
You can read this book, The Art of Studying and Teaching Scriptures, 3rd chapter. There I have given details of art of notes making, the benefits of taking notes and the process of taking notes. But begin somewhere. See these 3 kids, they're sitting with notes. She filled how many pages? 3-4 pages? Yes, Manjita? 1, 2, 3. So she wrote 3 pages in the last 45 minutes. For every 50 minutes, she's filling a page. Right? Now, there may be a better way of taking notes, another way of taking notes. Now, she has a different style and she has a different style. I have a different style. You have a different, you're typing notes. Different people may have different styles of making notes, but making notes basically is meant to keep us focused in what we are reading or what we are hearing. to concentrate, to take it seriously. So 1 hour, if you just sit and hear, not much may stick in our hearts. At that moment, we will feel impressed. After 1 hour, class में क्या बोला था? क्या topic का था? We may not even remember the topic also. But if you just note down some points, we may not get the entire 1 hour, but at least we'll get the gist. At least those points we could resonate with. If we note them down, we can retain them. Otherwise, we'll lose them. So taking notes is meant to retain. So, and the sky is the limit, how to take notes. Sometimes while taking notes, some people make flowcharts, mind maps. Some people make tabular forms. Some people make some diagrams. What they do is, in a pictorial way, they represent what's being said. If some analogy is given, bee is going and collecting honey from everywhere. That's how devotees should just collect essence everywhere. So that's like a wonderful lesson. So instead of writing it in the form of a sentence of 3-4 lines, they may just draw a flower. No, they may put a bee there. And they say essence. Bee is essence seeker. And they put housefly there. This is nonsense seeker. This is essence seeker. So the pictorial representation can immediately help you connect with the lesson. Right? You're getting new ideas to take notes. You have your own way, which best suits you, which you are able to. Just keep doing it. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Sanjay, bro,
In
right?
addition to Prabhu's question, like whenever we are reading scriptures and Bhagavatam, like enthusiasm is like on the high level, right? But we are not able to convert that in practical. I mean, when I read, I have a lot of thoughts out here that I will be start teaching on this thing to the others. But like when we go out of that potency, then we can turn them into the practical thing.
Yes.
So
When you keep the phone for charging, it will stay for a day. Then it gets discharged. Next day again, you have to put the phone for charging. You're saying that when I'm hearing, consciousness is good and all, but after that it goes down. Then again, here, keep the phone for charging once again. And some phones get discharged in few hours only, and some phones gets discharged in 2 days. So I keep the phone for charging once in 2 days, generally. Sometimes daily also, because the usage is less. Sometimes usage is more. So depending on how much are we interacting with the material energy, to that degree, the spiritual inspiration we have gained will drain. So you have gained some spiritual charging, spiritual inspiration by hearing Harikatha, reading some book, or participating in some kirtan, or taking darshan. You have gained something. You spend some 1 or 2 hours in the temple, your spiritual batteries are charged. But you go out to the office or in the material world, and sometimes you are able to maintain those thoughts because the intensity of material vibes around you may be little less. But sometimes the intensity of material vibes are more. Sometimes Maya throws it as some very, very intense situations. There's some politics in the office, for example, office politics. Your boss is showing some partiality on another employee and then just trying to push you down, subdue you. And the intensity of material vibes are more there. Then you need to charge your spiritual battery more. Let me hear more, let me chant more, let me read more. Because the intensity of material vibes are more. For me to be able to handle it, I need to be more intense in my sadhana. But sometimes my vibes are very mild. Office mein zyada kaam nahi hai, and like that's a very relaxed day for you. You're able to revise what you have read, what you have studied. Maybe in office break, you may be chanting 2-3 extra rounds also. Sometimes the material situation will facilitate spiritual absorption. But sometimes the material situation will obstruct our spiritual absorption. There we need to be more cautious and we need to intensify our sadhana, intensify our chanting, intensify our prayer, and immediately go and express your feelings to another devotee friend. They will calm you down. They'll bring you to normal consciousness. Right? So we need to prioritize. Somehow or the other, let me try to be Krishna conscious. Whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I think, whomever I interact with. Let me prioritize being Krishna conscious. When that priority is there, then automatically everything will fall in place. Any other questions, comments?
Since you are giving time.
Yeah.
Just to take it that, can you please comment upon like dependency on Krishna, plus taking tactical actions? How to properly,
With whatever intelligence Krishna has given us, with whatever manpower, money, resources, contacts, intelligence, experience that Krishna has given us, using all that, try to address the problem. But using all of that, you are unable to address the problem. The problem goes beyond your ability. Then surrender to Krishna and accept it. Accept the situation the way it comes. When situation is beyond your control, surrender to the situation. When the situation is within your control, use all your intelligence and experience to solve it, address it. But whether you are addressing it or unable to address it and raising your hands, you are ultimately dependent on Krishna only. Because initially Krishna has given you some resources, some intelligence to resolve a problem. You are using that. But sometimes the problem may be bigger than what Krishna has already given us. The intelligence and the resources that Krishna has given us are not sufficient to address that problem. Then what will you do, Krishna? You figure it out. So it's beyond my capacity. Usually boss gives you some task and he gives you some resources, some facilities. Okay, with this manpower, you can finish this task. You can do it. But sometimes the boss gives you limited facilities, limited manpower, and gives a bigger project. What will you do? Go and tell the boss in the office. This manpower is not sufficient. This experience is not sufficient. These resources are not sufficient. This laptop is not sufficient. This is a small screen. We want a bigger screen. Its RAM is 4 GB. We want 16 GB RAM. Then only we can do it fast. Otherwise, you wait. Give me 4 more days to finish the project. You go and express right. Same thing we do with Krishna.
one disciple told him that some mistake happened and they told Prabhupada that we are considering as Krishna's mercy because of this that happened. So he said that don't blame your foolishness on Krishna. So that point we get very much self-doubt that, oh, whether this is my foolishness or really Krishna's sanction. So that time.
With all our intelligence and resources, we need to address our problems. Even while doing so, we are dependent on Krishna only because he has given that intelligence. But sometimes the problem's intensity is beyond our intelligence. Then you say, Krishna, you take care. I did my best. Whatever is humanly possible, try to do. Yes, please.
Just because he was talking so much about the introspection and absorption, I was thinking more in terms of for my son, like what is the role play for, like, say, he has the capacity to memorize verses, but not necessarily there is the absorption of understanding. So what is more important to focus on understanding what the verse says versus actually memorizing verses and coming.
No, he is very small, 11, 12-year-old boy, but he's fortunate to get some mercy. At that stage, at that age, you may not expect them to internalize the meaning of the shloka or apply or put it in practice. Because it's a tender age, you may not expect them to demonstrate the shloka.
Yeah, I don't mean to, but just in terms of like even instead of understanding the philosophy, you have to spend time on that versus memorizing.
Both have their roles to play. Ultimately, understanding is more important than memorization. Ultimately, internalization, absorption, assimilation, realization is more important than memorization. That's the fundamental principle. But that's an age where memorization is more practical and easier for them than internalization. They can understand Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhata. They can memorize it very easily. 4 lines sloka, that's all. Anushtup Chanda. But will they be able to actually show titiksha, tolerance, When there is Sukha and Dukkha, we can't expect it from them. You know Matra Sparsha Shloka? Anyone knows here? Huh? You know Matra Sparsha? Yes. Hmm. Okay. She spoke it very easily, effortlessly. Tam Sutikshasva Bharata. But whether she will be able to show Titiksha when there is Sukha and Dukkha and Sita and Dushna, not sure. Maybe Prabhu Prabhu can confirm. Sita and Dushna. You know the meaning, Radhika? You forgot. Meaning only she doesn't know what kind of thing she applied. So don't have too many expectations from especially smaller children.
But is it okay to continue because that
They can continue. Because in future, what they have memorized will come to their rescue. Just because they are not internalizing or knowing the meaning, if you stop encouraging them to even at least learn the shloka or memorize the shloka, then there's no possibility of growing only. At this stage, memorization is more easy than internalization or application. Let it happen. Application will happen later. In college also, first they show theory classes. Then there are practical classes. And practical classes are always lesser than theory classes. Theory classes are more in chemistry or physics, etc. Okay. Let's begin to collect the files and store all the files in our rack. But when the right situation comes, you remove the right file and start applying it. There are so many apps. Every app will not use every day. But some are useful. Keep it. Sometimes you may require. Digi Yatra. In India, there is Digi Yatra. There is another one of Google Vault, right? Some app is there where you store all your boarding passes there.
Yeah.
That is useful only when you are boarding a flight. On a regular basis, you don't use. You may use WhatsApp and Gmail, but you don't use that Digi Yatra and all that. That's only when you are traveling. But it's required sometimes. This also is considered like that. Okay, we'll stop 8:45 now. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhu.
His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai.